Hi, I'm Donna Drake.
And I'm Caro.
And together, we're Livin' True Blue. Welcome to the show. I'm so excited because we have an adorable, really cute couple here, right?
Yeah, they are really adorable. They have a great history of love, compassion, and they share an experience called the Sharespot.
There you go.
Yeah.
The Sharespot.
They started a website called the Sharespot. That's a great site that is part of a social network and where you can actually share your stories of medical conditions or anything that you're going through.
Yeah, and it's more than Facebook, it's more than LinkedIn, it's more than Instagram. Tell us a little bit about the site. Like, what does it mean to you?
Simple. It's a place for people to go on and say, this is what's going on in my life right now. This is what I'm going through. This is what my child has, and I want to share my story with everybody else.
So the idea then, I know you guys have 2 children, but
Yeah.
if you shared something, is the idea that people will respond and say, hey, I went through that too? Because it's a social network, so you're drawing a conversation?
Yeah, it's happening all the time. We just had a gentleman sign up on the Sharespot, and I did an interview with him a couple weeks ago. His name is Dan. He has a rare autoimmune disorder called CVID.
Okay.
1,000 people a year are diagnosed with it in the United States.
Right.
And Dan shared his story so transparently, shared his story. Successful businessman, Fortune 500 company, everything you would want in life, except for he has this debilitating disorder.
Wow.
And people connected with him. People from all over the world, the UK, people connected with him. Dan, I'm going through this too.
Wow.
Share your story. Thank you for your advice. Thank you for your encouragement. It's phenomenal. It really is. Yeah.
I have the chills. That's really
Yes.
cool. Because you can worry yourself literally to death.
Yes.
And you can be frightened about experience. And then once you Google something, for instance, I got bitten by a spider in Mexico.
Oh my
If
goodness.
you Google bitten by a spider in Mexico, you will be thinking that you're going to lose a limb.
Keep your last will and testament. I can't,
I could not enjoy my vacation. I watched it, and just like 2 weeks before, the news, which loves to sensationalize negative news,
Yes,
was writing
of course.
all about this guy and showing this guy's leg eaten apart. And of course, I got bitten.
I think I saw that.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
So
it was the worst. It was on a famous reality TV series. It was a producer of the
great.
show that got bit. Yeah.
Thank God it was not me.
The
that
worst
was
thing in
on
the
that.
world you can do is Google something when you don't know what you have and just
Yeah.
type in the symptom. I was bit, and next you know you think you're bit by a shark.
Yeah.
It never happened.
There's an
Absolutely.
interesting,
And so go ahead.
there's an interesting feature with the Sharespot where you can actually upload a photo.
Okay.
So if you took a picture of that bite, you could tag it with keywords.
Okay.
Bite, infection, whatever you want to say,
Spider.
and that's searchable on the Sharespot, and people can find that picture and say,
Right.
oh, I had something like that. So-
Right, and then you can continue to draw up a conversation that won't make you, unfortunately, going to Google and learning crazy information.
Crazy.
Try to
And then
base
you
everything
try to
on fact.
self-diagnose yourself as well, and then you also start to self-prescribe.
Yeah.
And you might not be doing the right thing for yourself. So
That's the truth.
that's one of the things that I noticed about your site that does distinguish it from other medical sites
Yes.
is that yours is more, like you said, social. Yours is more
Right.
person
It
to
is.
person, like sitting in a doctor's office and saying, "Oh, do you have that symptom?" And
Or with the
you
girlfriend,
know,
right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
this
that's
is what's
really
going on.
I have
like-
to tell you,
So-
people ask me all the time, what's the difference between you and WebMD?
Right.
We are not here to treat and diagnose by any means. If it's an emergency, call 911.
Exactly.
Don't go on the Sharespot.
Right.
If you think, wonder what this symptom is, we're a form of people, a group of people that, good people that are going through extraordinary problems. And we're just here to share and help people and connect with other people that may be going through the same thing. Even if you just want to join and just say, hey, I'm thinking about you today. I'm praying for you today.
Yeah.
You're in my heart today. Is there
Yeah.
anything I could do for you? So
Yeah,
you don't
that's
necessarily
really nice.
have to have a
And
condition
they
to join.
say this as they're holding hands.
I know, they're so
and
cute.
being so supportive. Yeah.
Guilty.
we want to know where this connection started. Like, how did you
Please
guys
tell
meet?
us.
And
Well, can I say something?
sure.
Of course.
The motto of the company of Sharespot is people connecting over conditions because no tears. Alexis and I, I've known her since I was 9, and we connected over condition. I was paralyzed in the hospital at the age of 23.
Wow.
Right after my birthday in Southampton Hospital, and she
Wow.
joined me. Out of the blue, walked into my room one day, tripped over my IV, and almost ripped it out of my arm. God bless her.
Wow.
And
But
ever
yet
since
it still
then,
was like an angel.
right, we fell in love, and
Oh, God.
I said to her, I said, when I'm able to walk again, I said, I'm going to propose to you, and I'm going to marry you. And 8 months later, I walked again. I proposed to her. I married her, and it's been.
He didn't just walk again. He picked me up and carried me and ran down the aisle with me.
Yes.
Stop it.
Yeah.
We're talking about Alexis.
Yeah.
We cry a lot.
Yeah,
That's
it's the truth.
how do you
Touching.
do
Yeah.
this?
It's something that
She had no choice.
so
She just
near and dear
picked
to
her
my
right
heart. I
up.
love it. Yeah, it was great. What a moment.
I love her though,
Even.
and so we connected over conditions. So, fast forward 8 years now. We've been married going on 9 years, but fast forward 8 years. 2 years ago, I thought of the idea of the Sharespot.com because a dear friend of mine was going through something very rough. It was a brain tumor. It was cancerous, and a young father and a baby on the way. And next thing you know, he's diagnosed with a brain tumor. Healthiest guy you ever met. Power 90, ran 5 miles every other day. Healthy. And next you know, has a brain tumor. And I said, this guy has to tell a story. John, he's on the Sharespot. And he had to tell his story and give encouragement and hope to people because he's the most positive person you ever meet.
Wow.
And so that really helped fuel the Sharespot. And then when we connected over condition, I was like, thesharespot.com, people connecting over conditions.
Love it.
Yeah.
That's
I do
brilliant.
too.
And what a great vision.
Congratulations.
Thank
Now, I just have to ask, what were you doing there? Tripping over his IV.
Thank you. Thank
I had
you.
family out in Southampton, so
Okay.
I was able I commuted back and forth. I also worked out there for quite a while. And I knew he was out there, and I knew his recovery was really, really rough. And
So you knew him from
Oh,
another
Since he was
source?
nine.
I knew him since I was 9.
9 years
Yeah,
old.
school and everything. But
We
you
sort of
know,
lost
we went
connection.
away. We,
Wow.
not away, but we
So
went
something was
our own
calling
directions
you
for a little
that
while.
he maybe needed you, or you should be there?
Well, it's an intricate story. My family
Okay.
wound up moving across the street from them. Okay, I mean, it
my
just
family.
it goes crazy. So it gets
Talk about
crazy.
serendipity.
Yeah,
This
so
is
Crazy.
and-
You guys are meant to be.
and
Yes,
yeah,
I think so.
We are.
Yeah.
We were just meant to be. So
Yeah.
going out to visit him was like, I have to go see him. He's so much part of my life, and what he's going through is just
Yeah.
awful. So I never knew though that he would fall in love with me then. So.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
She probably secretly hoped.
That's all I want to know.
Yeah, yeah. Now I have to ask you, what happened in your life to put you in that?
Yeah, long story short, I owned a pretty successful auto detailing company.
Okay.
And I was always around chemicals. My diet was pretty poor at the time. I was
Yeah.
drinking a lot of diet iced tea, diet products.
Yeah.
And the doctors diagnosed me with MS, and they didn't know if it was Lou Gehrig's disease because I was paralyzed from the waist down. Overnight.
Wow.
I couldn't walk. I couldn't function.
Wow.
And the people at South Shore Neurology, Dr. Besser, who's retired now, is a genius.
Right.
And he came out there and he was working on me and looked at me and he said, I think you have something different going on. He's like, but I don't know if I can help you. And it just so happened to be a friend of a friend had a special naturopath doctor come out from Canada that was visiting. She went over with me and she just looked at me. She was asking me about my symptoms and she said, so what is your aspartame intake like? Do you drink a lot of diet sodas? I said, I have 24 different drinks a day of whatever it is. And she said, you have an aspartame overdose. Start doing a full body cleanse. Take this, take that. And after 3 months, I was back walking. I have extreme adverse side effect to aspartame. If anything,
I
all of a
just-
sudden my arm will go weak. It's amazing. So my diet, hence the
It's
weight
your
loss.
kryptonite, I
Yeah,
guess,
it really
right?
is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my diet really consists of all natural products, eating right, drinking
Now,
a lot of water.
Do you have MS?
No, so after I went over the diagnosis, I went back to the doctor and I said, listen, I said, they diagnosed me with aspartame poisoning. He's just like, he's like, my schooling tells me that it has to be something different, but you're probably dead right. So they ruled out the MS after so many different studies and spinal taps and this and that, and it was aspartame poisoning. And I wanted to share my story. Actually, this coming Saturday, my story, not this Saturday, the following Saturday, my story will be aired on the
Oh,
Sharespot.
I can't wait to see
Yeah,
it.
I'm really looking forward to
and
it.
thank you for sharing it here. It reminds me of Philomena Lombardi. Of course, you may know the Lombardi family,
Sure.
very prominent here on Long Island. And she was diagnosed with MS some time ago. And she does equate it to diet and all
Yeah.
of the toxins that she was subjected to throughout her life.
At the end of the day, toxins can't live in a healthy body.
Yeah.
Toxins grow in bad food we put in our body. So if you are living a healthy lifestyle, and if you go on the Sharespot, you can read up all about
That's
this.
right.
But if you live a healthy
Sharespot.
lifestyle, toxins can't live in your body. So
Right.
I have said to myself, listen, I want to be there for my 2 little boys. I want to be there for
That's
my wife.
right.
I want to be there for Sharespot.
That's
And
right.
so I've changed everything over the past 8 years, and I'm really doing good.
Oh,
Yeah.
congratulations. That's so exciting. What
Thank
a
you.
wonderful,
Beautiful
wonderful
story.
journey so
Thank you.
far.
Appreciate it.
And now, what are some of the other stories that are trending? What are, besides the ones you've
I just
shared?
did an interview last night with a gentleman named Jason. He has twin boys, one autistic, one typical. And his connection with his sons, he's a very successful business owner, and he has said, my son with autism has taught me to humble myself and to not judge others. And that's what really Sharespot is about. I think too many times on other social media platforms, people are very judgmental or superficial.
Sure.
Selfies we were talking about,
Right.
and this is how good I look, but there might be someone who is just as beautiful on the inside, but they don't want to share it. And they're embarrassed to. But go on to Sharespot.com. We're a community of loving people. It's really judgment free. And we want you to go there, share your story, and we'll be there to support you and help you. I promise you that.
Well, that's a lot like our mission on the Daily Blue. So
Yes.
I think that you guys coming here today is evident of how you're living true blue. And of course, it mimics what we're doing at the Daily Blue.
Wonderful.
A lot of negative stuff out there, and looking towards the positive and helping people is obviously your mission and ours as
Right.
well. So it's
Right.
wonderful that we've met and we're able to share.
Thank you.
And we will help you no matter what.
I appreciate that.
I do want to hear like what your kids think about. I mean, I know with having 4 kids that it's imperative for my kids to be supportive and understand what we're going through, as young as they were throughout any growth period in my businesses. I think I'd like to hear how you get them involved and what you've learned from them.
Well, one is one, one in change, and the other one is 3.5. So, as far as their understanding or their involvement, it is limited.
It is, yeah.
But I'm a stay-at-home mom, but I work very hard at home at the Sharespot, and you know I'm a very scheduled, organized person in my home, so I think that helps them as well as me.
Sure.
And they know when mommy has to work. You know, I
Yeah.
dedicate a certain amount of time during the day to focus on the Sharespot and do marketing and connect to people and do what I can. And my 3-year-old's gotten the hang of it at this
Right.
point, so that's good.
Jack
excellent.
Jack is our 3-year-old, and he has an ailment a week. And so I will do interviews with him.
So do I.
Yeah. So I'll do interviews with him and say, Jack, what happened this week? He'd be like, oh, I got burned by hot fire and I need a Band-Aid. So I try to include him in the share response and say, Jack, share your story for other 3-year-olds.
No, it's true, because once you have the kids involved or you can have them express what they're
Right.
feeling, not only can it help parents, but it helps the kids too. My kids have
Hands
been on
down.
the Daily Blue.
Oh, that's
Our
great.
kids have helped significantly with things, and it helps them, I think, be more understanding and better adults. And
No, it's
isn't
the
that
truth.
one of the reasons why
We,
to be a good parent?
We want that for our kids. We want them to be judgment free. We want them to have a pure appreciation for life and not cast judgment because someone's different from them.
Sure.
But rather embrace it and say, hey, go to sharespot.com.
Right.
That's what we want.
And one of the things you had shared earlier of the dad who had one autistic child, one typically developing child. How can those that don't have conditions,
Yeah, it's
be
great.
involved?
That's
you
Great
know,
a great
question.
question.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Lexi.
Well, there's quite a number of ways.
Okay.
One, to go on and basically share positivity and encouragement to those people. It gets you thinking of others. You know, I mean, that's something a lot of people don't take the time to do. They don't take the time to think of a complete stranger, but it's a great way of paying it forward.
Right.
I mean, our site could really be used very strongly in that direction.
Right.
The other thing that people can do if they aren't sick, they could sign up for a loved one that is sick and share the story on their behalf. They could talk about their children that are sick.
Sure.
They could talk about what works for them on a daily basis. Maybe they have chronic asthma or whatever the case is. I mean, even a past illness they can go
Right.
on and talk about. It doesn't have to be current.
Sure.
You know, you can share a lot from your past, from your history.
We also encourage organizations to join. When we first started the Sharespot,
Yeah.
we had a lot of, and I can't mention the companies, but we had a lot of big pharmaceutical and nutraceutical companies
Come to you.
contact us, and they wanted prime real estate on the site. And I'm all for that, right? But I also wanted the Sharespot to be, you know, we're Long Island owned and operated. Long Island owned and operated.
Long Island all the way.
And we want to support small businesses. So we have everything from a small company that makes shakes and smoothies to chiropractic offices and everyone else you could think of.
Right.
So we're promoting small businesses because we need help. We promoted a great disease resource organization in Bayshore, and they joined our site and we joined their site. So contact
Terrific.
me. You can email me.
Co-collaborating
Sure.
is very important at Sharespot, and we
Sure.
want to give the medical health community of Long Island a voice as well.
Sure.
That's excellent.
But contact Tim at thesharespot.com or
Very
Alexis
simple.
Good.
at thesharespot.com.
One other thing I wanted
Yeah.
to tell you. On Friday, I did an interview with these college students from Camp Kasem at Stony Brook University.
Oh, wow.
And I would love for you guys to connect with them. I
I
know
saw
that.
that interview.
it was excellent.
that was brilliant.
It was
Good.
a
What a
group
great
of
idea they
students
had. Wow.
that are helping children that are the product of cancer in their families.
great.
And I think for them to share their stories,
I'd love that.
They need that.
Yes,
This
and
is-
that's what it's about. That is embodies what Sharespot is about, of sharing your story. To somebody, everyone has a story to tell. I'm sure,
Yeah.
even if we know somebody,
Yeah.
but share your story,
Share-
and it will
help
be
each
heard.
other.
Another
Yeah.
thing I'll say, I've had a lady just say to me yesterday, "Well, why wouldn't I share this on the biggest social network out there?" And I said, "Well, a lot of times you can get lost in the news feed. News feed. Excuse me.
This is not that kind of
Right.
station.
Newsfeed, blushing, Hugh blushing. And with Sharespot, you're always front and center.
Yeah.
And we'll always keep your post
Yeah.
up.
It's,
So that's a
all,
good
it's
thing.
all about the health. It's all about you. That's the number one most important thing in your life is your health and your well-being.
Right.
You don't want to get lost in that news feed.
Sure,
so.
and psychologically, emotionally, and
Absolutely.
it all works out. We've asked you guys to be a part of our American Heart Luncheon
Yeah.
on May 1st. We'd love to shoot a Sharespot episode here if you
appreciate
guys
that.
would
We'd
like
love
to
to.
be
We'll
involved.
be here,
Yeah.
for sure.
Okay.
We'd love to.
So stay tuned.
Thank you.
We'll be having the Sharespot join us for Lunch and Learn on May 1st at 12:30, and we'll share that with you. Be promoting that all through the rest of the month of April. What else do we have, Donna? Is there anything
I
else we
think
want
this
to talk
was just
about?
so inspiring that I'm like, so we
Yeah.
definitely want to have you back again and again. You guys are fantastic.
You are.
And thank you so
Beautiful
much for the
couple.
value
Thank you.
you're offering to our community. So stay tuned to more on The Daily Blue.
And don't forget to join the Sharespot. Thank you for having us.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
It was excellent.
So much fun. I just